thank you for being here. I'm Bruce Urban, the oldest of 7 children. When I asked my siblings for some advice about this eulogy, Susan said, keep it short and sweet, just like Mom. I wanted to start by recounting a story I told at Dad's funeral. It talks about our family a little bit. When I was about 12, we were living in California. It was winter time, and we went up in the Sierras to do some sledding. Beautiful day, tons of snow. We'd taken a few runs down this beautiful bowl, and I was at the top. And Alan, who was about 6, was next to me, and Dad made a big push down the hill, and we went sailing down. And went a little too far, hit a bump, and landed in a creek that we didn't even know was there. I pushed off and started flying down the hill to help him, and all of a sudden, I saw Dad sprinting by me. Pretty impressive, I thought. We got back to the top of the hill, and I turned to my brother Gary, and I said, see how fast Dad ran down that hill? He said, did you see how hard Mom pushed him? We're all familiar with the adage that behind every successful man there's a strong woman. That saying's a little dated this day, but Mom and Dad were a traditional couple. And she was a very strong lady woman. I want to talk to you a little bit about where that strength came from. Father Whitestone mentioned the greatest generation and the difficulties that they grew up with. I want to recount some of those times in Mom's life. She was the youngest of 4 daughters born into a family of immigrants with barely any roots in this country. Her dad was from Germany, Mom was from Poland. The family became no stranger to sorrow. When she was only 9 at the height of the Depression, her dad died of tuberculosis. With their breadwinner gone, her mom and the 4 girls were left to fend for themselves. It wasn't easy, but they pulled together. Her mother worked several jobs. The older girls got jobs as soon as they were old enough. Mom told us that when she was young, it was her job to go into the butcher and ask for a pound of bologna sliced extra thin so they would have enough meat for sandwiches all week. Or she'd go into the grocery and ask for a pound of sugar that came wrapped in 2-pound bags. The family moved from Egg Harbor, New Jersey to Atlantic City, where Mom attended Holy Spirit High School. By the time she graduates in 1943, the country's in the middle of World War II. During this time, her oldest sister, Mariana, was practically a second mother to her. And she dies this year. Mom is only 18 from tuberculosis also. Mom went on to get a job with the Navy in Atlantic City and worked there through the war and past the war even. When she met Dad and they married in 1951. I was born 11 months later, and it was a very happy time for the young family that moved to Monterey, California. You can imagine what type of transition that was for Mom. But that same year, her sister Clara was also pregnant, gives birth to my cousin Linda, 6 weeks younger than me. But by that time, Clara's husband had succumbed to tuberculosis. So this family suffered a lot in a very short period of time. Dad's career takes him to Chicago and St. Louis, where my sister was born in 1953, and Philly, where Gary was born the next year. So 3 young children, and Dad is deployed on a round-the-world cruise for 10 months. At least during this year, Mom was close to her family, which was a blessing. When he gets back, Dad is transferred to Jacksonville, Norfolk, and Key West in rapid fashion. We actually get to stay in Key West for 2 years, where Alan and Kevin were born in 1957 and 58. So I'm 7. Mom has 5 kids. has already managed 7 moves. In 1959, moved up to Newport, Rhode Island for a year, at which time my dad's dad died of a sudden heart attack in his early 60s. Dad's next duty station is Newport. After Newport is Hawaii. We drive across the country, 5 kids in the car. In the morning, our family is supposed to step on an ocean liner in San Francisco bound for Hawaii. Mom gets a call. Her mother and her sister Clara, Clara's daughter Linda, are in a car. It stalls on a train track. And Mom, my grandmother and Clara killed when the train collides with them. Luckily, my cousin Linda is thrown from the accident and is unhurt. Mom, instead of getting to go on an ocean liner, which she was really looking forward to, has to fly back across country. Kevin, who's barely 2 years old, and buried her mom and sister. We lived in Hawaii for 2 years. My sister Susan joins the family in 1961. There, we moved to California for 3 years, during which time Dad was deployed on 2 extended cruises to Vietnam, flying combat missions. A quick 10 months tour in Alabama and back to California, where Dad is deployed again, flies more missions in Vietnam, over 150 in all. And while he's gone, Mom huddles us together and tells us she's expecting. I said, expecting what? She explained, and my immediate thought is, we're in a 3-bedroom house. We've got 4 boys and 2 bunks in one room. The girls, of course, are spread out in another. And what if it's another boy? Well, we had another baby, and his name was Scott. Scott wasn't a girl. But luckily, we moved again, this time to Washington, D.C., to Fairfax, with folks with a little sense. And they got us a 5-bedroom house, which we thought was pure luxury. During this, that was 1968. I went off to college in 69. And in the summer of 70, I'm home for a visit. And Elva and Linda come up from Miami. We have a wonderful time together. And the next month, Elva is driving Linda to the University of Tennessee for her freshman year in college. When inexplicably, they drive off the road and into a canal. And both women drown. So you can see, as Father Whitestone said, that this generation endured a lot. At this point, in 1970, Mom was 45 years old. She survived the Depression, World War II, and got married, and had 7 kids. At that point, the range in ages from 19 down to 3. She managed this large and growing family with 7 twins by Dad that were 4 to 10 months long, made over 15 moves, and lost her entire family to tragedy. The average person would have been a basket case, but Mom was far from that. She was strong, tough, and resilient. She learned how to adapt to every situation. She obviously learned how to be frugal at an early age. Karen remembers that Mom was not only frugal, but she was creatively sly about it. Karen said she was 6 or 7 before she found out that 3 Musketeer bars were not called that just because they're supposed to be divided into 3 pieces. As well as brothers. Mom was resilient and tough, but she was so much more than that. She was caring, compassionate, and had a can-do optimism for life. It's not to say that Mom was perfect. She had an uncanny ability to influence the outcome of Notre Dame football games. 1970 was probably the most prime example where, with a lead of 24-6 at half over hated rival Southern Cal, she utters the fateful words, "I feel so sorry for the Southern Cal players." Final score, Southern Cal 55, Notre Dame 24. Dad never forgave her for that. She was barred from the TV room after that whenever Dad was in play. But Mom's optimism did pay off. The family has flourished. And we all know that she's enjoyed watching it grow with 21 grandchildren to her credit. When Dad died 3 years ago, I asked her to reflect on her 6 years of marriage, and she said, the first part was rough. I thought, no kidding. She had gone through a lot, but she said that Dad made up for it in the last 30 years. And they really enjoyed settling down here in Fairfax and becoming part of this wonderful parish. Without a doubt, Mom had great faith and a great moral compass. I think few people have navigated a shorter path to heaven than Mom has. So I say to the family, when times get hard, take comfort in the fact that Mom will be looking down on you, and that you'll be together with Dad. And if you think of her, remember that she will lead you and help you find strength and the character to make the right decisions, and you will survive. Thank you, Mom. We love you.